Hello YouTube and welcome back to old Flads. This is Ace of Spades, this is the custom map review part 8, and today I have Rocket Island, a map that is actually based upon one of the old maps by KillerWill called Rocket Tower, I believe. That's from the 0.x sort of era, if you like. This has been made by Ascent, who's one of the Back to Grawl guys. So I'm not going to be biased at all by it. He's going to get the same treatment as everyone else. Fortunately for him, his map is like amazingly brilliant, and whether or not it's been adapted from another one, it's the way it's been accomplished in this sort of revamp, if you like, is a true testament to his effort as a map builder. He also does a lot of mods as well. So he's an accomplished worker within the Ace of Spades community, and he's really done a great job with this. This is probably, I should probably get straight off the bat, the best occupation map I've ever seen. And not only in its execution, but just from its design as well. So I don't know how closely it follows KillerWill's, but I mean, if he made it like this as well, it was almost like he premeditated it. I'm sure there's a game mode that it suits in 0.x as well. Nonetheless, let's crack into the map, and we'll talk at it from a general standpoint. But although there are lots of things to look at with regards to this map and the various game modes, it's occupation based, really. I mean, team deathmatch is good on this, but the only trouble really with team deathmatch is the fact that the rocket's in the way. I mean, you have to walk around it. It's sort of, although you can get in there, it does take quite a lot of work to get in there, and there's some good sniper vantage points. But because of the way the map is designed with all the trees and stuff, sniping's not actually that easy. Even though there is a big ass rocket in the middle, it's not very easy to be a sniper on here. Even these watchtowers are very, very, very limited with regards to what they can actually see. If we come in here and sort of take a bird's eye, take a first-person view of what you'd see from here. Alright, you can see down into the bases, that's fine, and these are actually good places to get to, no doubt, obviously, but for people scurrying around on the floor, it's not such a great map for sniping. I quite like that. There's a lot of maps do tend to sort of cater for snipers. This one really doesn't. We'll go over here first. This is where the blue team spawn, in TDM and Occupation. At any rate, I've haven't played any other game modes other than TDM and Occupation in this, so that might change, but it does seem to be a fairly general area. Now, with regards to this spawn, the one issue I have with it is the sightlines as you spawn, because you literally spawn here, like right here. And from here, there is a huge sightline down there. One of the few very, very long and good sightlines actually comes into blue team spawn. Now, the way this could be countered, obviously, is pretty simple. You just put another tent in there. That pretty much locks off that sightline. And with regards to these barrels, I think you could probably have some more supplies here just to break off any chance of an additional sightline as you look here, down through there, off the wall, perhaps. But, I mean, I'm nitpicking a little bit there. But I think this could be protected a little better. One thing though, and this counts for both sets of spawns. The other spawn is, where's the fort? There's a fort where the green spawn over here, which is over the other side of the map. Okay, one good thing, this is actually a much better protected spawn, and I really like this one. The sightlines, all right, from that tower are pretty good, but I mean, you don't always spawn on top. You sometimes spawn in here, and you sometimes actually spawn around the back. So I mean, as the spawn protection goes, this is probably one of the best spawn locations I've seen as well. Now, what both of these spawns do, which is an excellent, like a really excellent idea, and something that a lot of people should consider when building maps, is the way that you can flank from the word go. Now, flanking is not an evasive tactic, okay? Flanking is an attack-minded sort of tactic, if you like. And the fact that you can do it straight off the bat from here is a really good thing. Now, when I talk about spawns and spawn protection and then go into flanking, I don't mean that flanking is some route out of a death trap. Flanking should be something that happens from the word go and allows you to actually impact upon whatever mode you're working on at the time. Both of these spawns do a great job of it, and that is something that really works well. If we just take a quick look at the map from a bird's eye view, you can see that the rocket's in the middle, and then the map itself isn't very big, but because of the way that everything's been broken up and the various sort of points of interest, the map has plenty going on. So, I mean, it's not actually a bad thing for modes like TDM, for example, where you don't really want a massive map. You want something that's going to be a bit more fast paced. On the other hand, for CTF, obviously that brings in its own issues, but because I think that you could probably dig under most of it, and you can move around with a really good element of stealth, it's not too bad for CTF. But because of the way that the trees sort of make up the majority of what blocks off sightlines, after sort of 90 minutes, you'd probably find that a lot of the map was fairly desolate. That said, however, I do love these sort of maps that utilise trees properly, and this is one of them. I would suggest that you could probably add another 50% of trees to the map just to closer sort of tie them in together. Now, this is one thing that has been done quite well. If I can show you the particular clump I was looking at earlier, the trees have actually been grouped together pretty well, so that when they're touching each other, that you don't take down one at a time. You've got to take down lots at a time. Now, the reason that's good is because in order to take down lots of trees, to sort of take down one sight line, if you like, then you're actually leaving yourself very exposed for a long period of time. And I mean, you've got to make the decision on whether you want to expose the sight line or risk getting shot. And that's something that this does very well. Like I say, you could probably add another 50% of trees to this. I'm nitpicking, again, as I tend to do in these. So please don't take anything that I say in these particular reviews to heart. They're simply my ideas for how maps can be improved. This map needs virtually zero improvement. Now, with regards to sort of the level design, all these paths they're brilliant. Like, they're genuinely brilliant. These aren't part of a map. These have been painted in afterwards, so they're beaten tracks that lead to every single point on the map that would be of interest. And even down at the blue spawn, which is where I think this really looks the best, you can even see, like, round the campfire, which looks amazing, by the way. You can see all the additional areas that have been trampled in where people have been walking through the mud. It's obviously been a bit of rain here. There is a backstory to this, and essentially the backstory goes that the one team has this rocket that's going to cause world devastation, the other team has to stop them, and it's essentially where the occupation mode comes from. Taking down that rocket with the occupation bomb is actually surprisingly difficult. I managed it after about 4. This thing you can take down with 1. If you can take that down with 1, you're a boss. Okay, so I think that pretty much covers this map with regards to how it plays, how it looks, and overall I'm really impressed. Like, I love the element of detail that's been put in. I love the way that the trees work to act as natural cover points. It is designed more for sort of commando and rocketeer for hopping up on the trees and getting over the trees that way, as opposed to being, well, and the miner of course as well, as opposed to being an out-and-out sniping map. I really like that. It's something that you don't see very often, because a lot of people, like I said before, do tend to cater for snipers. This one works really well with regards to cover, tree to tree, obviously staying around the edge of the map as per any FPS game, getting involved in there's actually a bomb location up there. That's a bit of a spoiler, but there's a bomb location up there. It's actually, where is the there's a point, or maybe it's not that maybe it's not that lighthouse. There is a point on yeah, it must be that lighthouse. Oh yeah, it's right at the top, sorry. Yeah, I was sort of alluded to the fact that it was bigger. This point here, that is actually where a bomb spawns. You've got to get up this tower to get the bomb. Obviously, you could take it down, but I mean, you're going to be under fire. But I love it. I love the fact that you've got to go that far to go and get it. Now, the reason Occupation isn't very sort of popular as a game mode is because it launched primarily, whenever I played it at least, on Atlantis. And for Atlantis, yes, you've got the central bit where you can put the bomb, but ultimately it was very, very easy for defenders to put the bomb in a place that was absolutely miles away. This map doesn't allow for that. It allows for some much faster paced Occupation gameplay, and like I said, it's probably the best one I've seen. Okay, so on to the scores. Aesthetics. It is an amazingly beautiful map. Everything about it looks great. From the buildings that he's chosen to use, from the detailing used in the paths, from the trees that have been positioned, from the way the rocket is set up in the middle of this compound, the way that the spawn for blue looks just like a base camp. I love the whole thing. Okay, aesthetics is a 10. That was a pretty easy choice for me. Aesthetics is a 10. Okay, so creativity. Now, one thing that needs to be sort of taken into account is the fact that this map has been referred, if you like, or revamped from another map. So it's not going to get 10 for creativity, unfortunately. It can't do, because although it's it is obviously his own ideas, and there are elements that he's made. It is based upon something else, and I think I'm going to give it an 8. Yeah, I think an 8's fair. An 8, considering it's based on another map. So I'm going to give it an 8 for creativity. I love the way it's all been made, though. I love the way that the flankings have been made. I love the way that you can move from tree to tree. All in all, the design is very, very good. It has been based upon something else. In fact, an 8's not fair. I'm going to give it a 9. Okay, so we're up to 19 so far. So usage of map. It's a small map. If you're sensible in every game mode, you're going to use all of it. It's a 10 out of 10. Okay, it's as simple as that. Everything needs to be utilised in order to work this map properly. 10 out of 10. So we're up to 29 now. Game mode availability currently is CTF, multi-hill, occupation, TDM, zombies. So that's 5 out of the available 10. That's a bit of a disappointment, because that is going to drop points if you ask me. I think VIP would have actually been quite a lot of fun on this map. Like I say, I'm not too fussed. CTF itself, I don't think is the greatest addition to this map, although it is quite fast-paced, so I do like it. Yeah, I think we're going to stick with the 5, unfortunately, for that, because there is only the 5 game modes. He only wanted 5 game modes. That's entirely up to him, but my scoring system does... It does follow a format. So what does that take it up to? 34 for game modes. Longevity prediction. This is probably the best map for occupation I've seen. It's also an incredibly good TDM map. It's very exciting. It looks great. There's plenty of routes to go through. No 2 games will be the same, if you ask me, because of the fact that there are no real camping spots. It's going to get a 10 out of 10. I think it's going to last forever. It's a brilliant map. So it takes up to 44 out of 50. That is a very, very strong score. Let down only really by game modes. Game mode choice is something that's a bit, I sort of have a bit of license with, but nonetheless, that is my choice. So 44 out of 50 Ascent. You should congratulate yourself on that. I'm sorry. It's a very, very beautiful map. It's brilliantly designed, and I think you've done an excellent job with making it just one of the best maps I've seen to date. My personal recommendation for it, I am going to give it a 10 out of 10. I think. Basically because I love it. I love how it works. I love how it's been designed. I love how everything sort of works together to make a really full experience in the map. And I love how when you actually get into sort of close quarters gameplay, it's really exciting, which a lot of maps don't actually have that exciting element in them. So there it is, 44 out of 50. Well done, Ascent. Thank you very much for making this great map. I've been Old Flads. This has been the Custom Map Review, and you shall see me next time. Cheers and goodbye.